Take your transformed self home and transform your world. Be the pilgrim that you've become, self-contained, simple, mature, connected to the God that underpins and oversees all this mess.
At the 2025 Gathering of Pilgrims in Vancouver, pilgrims gathered around the theme, Bridges of the Camino, Connecting Cultures and Hearts. Among the keynote speakers was author and longtime hospitalera Rebekah Scott, who began her address, The Wisdom of the Elders, not with advice, but with a story. 1 year later, at her home in Moratinos, Spain, we asked Rebekah to share it again. She began, as she had in Vancouver, with a reading from her Camino memoir, A Furnace Full of God.
Here's how I got wise to pilgrim things. I'll read from A Furnace Full of God about home. At my house in Spain for 20 years now, we've hosted pilgrims. The photos are from home. Most are taken by me, but here's the quote from the book. There's a fat little book in our house. This is the first one, full of comments left by pilgrims who stayed. Here's some of the ones. Yeah, aren't they wonderful? But it's not very compelling reading, I have to tell you. In many languages, the pilgrims say, thank you. They say, great food, or I slept so well, or God bless you. But the word that you see most in these books is home. You opened your home, they say, is so homey here. A home away from home. I felt like I was right at home. And the Peaceable, with all the cats, sorry, is really a home. I'm from Pennsylvania in the United States. Moratinos is thousands of miles from where my ancestors are buried, but I have never felt so settled in anywhere else. In this tiny town in the middle of a huge plain, a country where I do not speak the language very well, I found this place that speaks to my spirit. I came as a pilgrim first. I came back to serve, just for a couple of weeks at a time. But after a while, I heard another call. I came to stay. The sun shines here with a fierce white light, and our south-facing patio grabs up every ray. We bought this farmhouse in 2006. There was still a watering trough here in the middle of the patio, and the barn was knee-deep in rotten straw. This house had no plumbing. The electricity was a wire tacked up to the wall, and I've seen brighter and safer Christmas trees. But it took years and lots of money to make it ours, years of frustration and wasted time and tears and fury. We lived in the little kitchen down front. We slept in the storage room alongside. We washed up in the primitive bathroom under a tin roof. And through all that, pilgrims came. They did not complain. There was nowhere else for them to sleep in Moratinos. The builders didn't think we'd last, so they thought we'd give up and go home, and we were gleefully ripped off and laughed at and ignored. We almost despaired a few times, but usually some special pilgrim came along and helped us out. Tomas from Croatia was a shipwright who became a soldier in the Bosnian War. He did terrible things there. He walked the Camino to atone for them. He worked from dawn to dark in with a roll-up cigarette dangling off his lip. He could swing a scythe and patch the plaster and render adobe walls using a paint sprayer. He ate anything we put down in front of him, and he drank himself to sleep every night. And Anselmo and Jesus were forest rangers from Cadiz. They were laid off in the summer, and they traveled the Camino as hospitaleros and as work for food laborers. They barked at Spanish roofers and builders who'd walked off the job halfway here. And Milo, who was a 7-foot-tall young art historian from the Czech Republic, I still remember him fondly. He helped me lay a tile floor in the storage room. It was a disaster. We enjoyed ourselves and we sang out loud and slinging cement. These guys stayed for weeks at a time and left their handprints in the mortar. Some of them still come back. Frederic has been stopping here for 6 or 7 years. He's a wiry little Frenchman with a startling resemblance to Popeye the Sailor. When he first arrived here, I didn't want to let him in. He had prison tattoos on his knuckles and obviously had been sleeping rough. But Patrick, my husband, said, give him a chance. There's another class of traveling men embodied by Antonio from Portugal. He tramps up and down the Camino sleeping for free in the Donativo albergues, asking nice, taking what he can get. He doesn't do a lick of work, but he carries several changes of clothes. The Camino's his home, and he works the system. And Antonio, yes, he's a bum, but we've never turned him away. A lot of people would slam their doors in his face, and maybe they're right to do that. But Antonio's an authentic Camino character. He plays a time-honored role here. He's got as much right to the trail as anybody. The pilgrims who stay overnight are geared into the Camino machine. Their job is walking, following this program, this trail, this time-honored pathway with their hearts and eyes and their hands wide open. They're on their way to Santiago de Compostela. We believe in what they're doing. We support them. I believe pilgrimage is a key to peace in this world. A wonderful unifying thing. These things happen here that don't happen anywhere else. Pilgrims come here to find God or answers or peace, and they end up finding one another. The Peaceable, this place, has been a stop along the way for a few of them, another page in their story. I get to meet a lot of holy people who pass by here. Some of them finish their journey and come back and stay a few days. Some come here on purpose to help out with a specific project. Others come once in a blue moon just to see us. They step into our rhythm. They relax into the work of this place. They let go of a lot of things that hem them in back home. Home. They come here because we don't ask them for too much. We feed them and sometimes we drink with them. We work alongside them and invite them to come along to the next village or to Sunday church. And for people who feel homeless, this place is attractive. It looks to them like a family, and they want to stay around, whether or not we need another person here. Rosario, an elderly, spry lady from Madrid, stayed here for 2 days, recovering from blisters. She couldn't move around much, so she bossed the other pilgrims from her kitchen chair. While she stayed, everyone made up his bed, folded his blankets, washed his dishes, and swept the floor. When her third morning rolled around, Rosario packed up her things, kissed us on both cheeks, and declared her intentions. My children are grown up. My husband is gone. My apartment is too big for just me. I am bored with my life. I have no function. When I finish the Camino, I will sell my apartment. I'm coming back here to live. This is a home. I really love this place. I will cook and I'll help with the pilgrims. Patrick and I looked at one another and said, oh dear, you're very generous. I said, you must talk to your children first. They need you. And if they've never walked the Camino, they will never understand. Rosario stood for a moment and blinked in the morning sun. You're saints, she said. You only say that because you are good people. Most people would just say yes. We said goodbye, and we didn't see her again. I bet she went home. I wrote that 10, 12 years ago. The Peaceable has changed a lot. The pilgrims have changed too. But the motivation is the same. I still believe in what you all are doing. The love that flows beneath it all is forever. It's a great honor to talk to you. It's a dream come true, really. How often do you get to have this kind of bully pulpit? So I'm very humbled to be invited. I've written this speech 1,000 times. I call it the wisdom of the elders, but much of the time I feel more like the Camino cleaning lady than any kind of sage. I've lived on the Camino Frances for 20 years. I'm deeply involved in the hospitality network that makes the Camino function, and makes this hiking trail unique in the world. I'm a contemplative Christian. I draw great strength and clarity from the Camino's deeply Christian roots. I believe pilgrims are called to walk by a God who loves us and wants us to grow. This pilgrimage is one of her boot camps. I'm as qualified as anyone to talk about pilgrims and pilgrimage, and so I will. So buckle up for some hard-won wisdom. First off, the Camino nowadays is a whole lot of things besides a pilgrimage pathway. Thousands of people flock there every year to do their own Camino, to enjoy great food and drink and companionship in charming, trendy environments. They stay in private rooms and send their backpacks ahead each day and have lovely walking or e-biking holidays. There's room for this all on the Camino. But these are not the people or experiences that I'm going to talk about here. I want to talk about old school pilgrimage with a capital P. A Camino walked as a spiritual discipline. I want to show you what is possible on this path if you take it seriously and you follow it with care. This is the pilgrimage our grandparents passed down to us through 1,000 years. It is tough and it's austere. It's inexpensive and it's utterly simple. It follows a trope as old as written history, the hero's journey. Leave home, lose yourself, die, transform, resurrect, and return home enlightened. The classic hardcore Camino pilgrimage offers contemporary people an opportunity to play out this spiritual drama in their own lives. In a short time frame, it uses the same pathways as the tourist offerings, but has a completely different vibe, a deeply profound effect on the person who undertakes it. It transforms their character. It makes them better. Here's what I've learned from my years on the meseta, on the trail, and in the albergues. If you want a classic pilgrim transformation, follow these commandments. I make no apology for commandments. The first commandment, the Camino is a holy place. It commands respect. Walk it all, front to back, skipping bits or breaking it without skipping any bits or breaking it apart. It was meant to be long because the longer you walk, the greater the benefit. Every step is sacred. Give it the time and space it needs to expand into you. It is holy, and you, the pilgrim, are holy too. Embrace your holiness, and you will tap into this roaring current of goodness that flows beneath your feet. You'll see the holiness everywhere, all around you. You'll experience providence and coincidences, kindnesses out of nowhere. A pilgrim relaxes into all this flow. He lets go of his need to control his time and environment. And that is the key to all the rest of it. Letting go, trusting the Holy Spirit will provide the basics for you. The pilgrim can then fly free. Second commandment, go slow. Listen to your body, pray, stop when you feel tired. Enjoy the food and drink and companionship, but don't overdo it. This is a path of austerity and self-control. It's not a rolling party. At that. Leave behind the identity that you brought from home. You're only a pilgrim now. You're entitled to nothing. You expect nothing. You're one of many, many people on this road. It's not about you. The third commandment is be quiet. Be alone. Carve out time each day for solitude and silence, even if you're traveling with someone else. Pray for yourself and for the pilgrims all around you, for your hosts and all the people at home. Then silence your soul. Walk on with ears of your heart open. Hear the trail, the traffic, the bird song. Talk to yourself. Listen to what you're saying. Sing. This is free time for your mind and your soul. Let them come out and play in the sun. This is the maintenance that your soul longs for. Beware, though, the demons will emerge too, all the things that you've left unexamined. Sometimes you'll cry or laugh, or rant a little bit, but the Camino is a place for deep soul repair. It will break you right open and heal you if you let it. But that happens in silence, pilgrim. Fourth commandment is unplug yourself. Mobile devices and social media and electronic toys are distractions. They waste your time and steal your focus from the important work that you came here to do. News feeds full of fear and loathing, as well as daily commitments to self-promotion, and are what you came to the Camino to escape. I know many useful pilgrim apps are on that screen, and you need to check in at home now and then for sure. But after that, airplane mode, please. Here, pilgrim, not somewhere else. Would you like me to put the cat away? Oh, okay. Commandment number 5 is carry your own burdens. When you see a mess, you clean it up. Mind your business and your possessions. Don't expect or demand comfort or convenience. The pilgrim adjusts to the road. He does not expect the road to adjust to him. Complicated bookings and baggage services lock the traveler into a place and time every day. But the pilgrim who lets go of control has all her things with her, on her back. She doesn't have reservations, so she can dilly-dally and explore and have adventures. She's not afraid of not having a bed. The pilgrim always finds a place to sleep, always, always. I guarantee. Commandment number 6. Ask for help. Offer help. Be compassionate. The people around you are there for a reason. One may be your next best friend. Step outside yourself and learn some Korean or French or Spanish. Be awkward if you have to. Invite the lonely, awkward guy to sit at your table with you. When someone plays the guitar in the albergue, sing along and dance. Cry some more. Enjoy honest, good company of people you'd never otherwise associate with, and people who would probably not associate with you. Commandment number 7 is do not be afraid to suffer. Pain is inevitable. Suffering and how you deal with it is a part of becoming a fully formed adult. Pilgrims suffer. Without suffering, there's no transformation, no pain, no glory. This is really not a popular idea, but it's truth. Suffering is built into the circle of life, the seasons of the year, the theology of the cross that we see at every Galician intersection. Suffering, death, and resurrection. Crucify your ego. Die to self. Rise again to serve others. The pilgrims of old knew this truth, and they knew too that this too shall pass away. Things will get better. Commandment number 8 is live the beauty. A pilgrim is a minimalist. He uses few resources. He sleeps wherever he finds a bed. Fear not the bunk beds in the municipal albergues. Accept what is offered to you and be grateful for it. Find your joy under the trees or on the riverbank. The Camino is a spectacular gallery of artworks made just for you, for those not in a hurry. Sit still inside and outside the churches and look up into the eaves and rafters. There's angels up there. Sit through the Mass and see the building in action. Pray there. Feel the vibe of 800 years of prayers. It's there, and it's all the way down the Camino. Never miss a chance to glory in the views, the animals, the wine and cheese, the olives, the mejillones. These are gifts to you from the loving Father who called you to be here. Each time you see a chapel or a crucero or a waymarker, each time you hear a church bell or a cowbell or a scrap of radio music, remember how much you're loved and pass a little ray of that love on to the next person that you see. Commandment number 9, or at least a direction number 9, is your transformation will make you very kind. Give it back. A network of unpaid international volunteers is the rail that the Pilgrim Camino runs on. Nonprofit groups run these municipal and parochial albergues. They exist so the pilgrimage does not become a playground for the wealthy and the leisured. This way, poor students and bums and blue-collar workers can be transformed too. The volunteers are themselves often transformed pilgrims, motivated by their experience to come back and serve another generation of seekers. The finished pilgrim turns outward. He takes the light that's blasted him clean and shines it into the world outside himself. He is strong and ready to give. He's not his own man anymore. He's part of a community. The greatest test of a pilgrim is this, in my opinion. An elderly or injured pilgrim arrives late at a crowded albergue and limps through the dorm, scanning the upper level for the final bunk. The classic pilgrim, the true pilgrim, stands and offers him his lower bunk. That is a life transformed. Yeah. 10th commandment. The Camino is a gift of God to the people of the world. It runs on a variety of love called grace. Grace is unmerited favor, something nice without a price tag, something for nothing. It's a gift. Grace flies in the face of consumerism and capitalism. Grace has nothing to do with money. You put in the time and effort, follow the directions, give up control, and your life can be transformed. It's that easy. It costs nothing, but it takes everything. Please do not commit idolatry, and not adultery, idolatry. Don't mistake the Camino for God. The Camino is a hiking trail. It's a historic site of great value, but it's not magic. It will not provide for you. The provision you experience is people full of grace, showing you just how much God loves you. The Camino is not a property or a feeling or a vibe or even a spirit. The Camino is us. You and you and you and me. We provide. We care for one another. We do the work that makes the Camino happen. If I can add a final commandment to the 10, because I'm not God, take your transformed self home and transform your world. Be the pilgrim that you've become, self-contained, simple, mature, connected to the God that underpins and oversees all this mess. And one more little pilgrim story. Way back before the Exodus, Abraham and Sarah, a pair of early pilgrims, were called to leave home and set out to an unknown country. One day they set up their tent under a big oak tree and sat there quietly waiting, and along came 3 men. Yes, yet again, here we go. Abraham and Sarah greeted them, gave them water to wash up, and food and drink and a place to rest. They made them feel at home. The visitors blessed them and went on their way. Who were those guys? Those visitors were God. We honor that image, the breaking of the bread, the wine, the blessing, in an icon that we keep at our house. Love and grace and hospitality is not limited to the Camino Trail. It's wherever we are. Love travels with us. The supply is endless. And as long as we keep giving it away, it will never, ever run short. So wherever you go, pilgrim, you are home. Amen.